Well, today we're here at a finishing barn here, or grower barn, here in Clinton County, owned by the Serbers, John and Connie and family. Excellent facility, as you can see. Everything is very well taken care of. I tell you what, when we talk about our members, so with the Ohio Pork Council, we represent 3,500 pig farmers across the state. The Serbers just emulate everything that we're trying to do in terms of the way they care for their animals, the way they care for the environment, the outstanding members they are in the community. The Serbers eat, sleep, and breathe agriculture. No pun intended. They are, nationally recognized through, some of the things that they do to tell the story of agriculture, whether that be reaching out to civic organizations and, different community groups, or just things they do, to really raise the bar in excellent animal care. They are role models for lots of farmers across Ohio and across the country.
We work with the landowner, and it was a good fit for him. It would give him organic fertilizer that'll improve his cropping operation, not only from a cost but a yield standpoint. It was a good fit for us because it keeps us away from other barns and maintains a good security area from our pigs to someone else's. So it really was a good fit for both sides.
Okay, we're at the home of Dal and Jerry Crawford on Jones Road this afternoon. This wonderful, tranquil, bucolic environment happens to be next door to where this proposed 2,400 head hog finishing facility is supposed to be built. Who knows when? And what a shame it is, because we're adjacent to a beautiful creek, Compton Creek, an impacted waterway of the state. And you can see around you what is going to be disturbed forever and a day if this facility is built. Immediately in that direction is where this barn is going to be, across that creek there behind those trees. And it'll rise incredibly across that tract of land there that slopes to the creek and has the worst soil for absorption in the entire farm. And we're here today to give one more shout out to John Serber and to Dwayne Matthews to please put this barn someplace else, preferably outside of Payne Township.
It's them that are imposing on our habitat, not vice versa. It is, they're going to change our entire way of living.
Farm Aid 2016. And this was a group of supporters, a great number of people here in Fayette County, who agreed that with a farmhouse so close, we don't want a mega hog factory so close. This is Compton Creek behind me. Compton Creek is a very good water, a tributary, goes eventually in whatever. I followed it on Google Maps, but it is considered a good creek, and yet an out-of-county businessman is planning in this field on my left, planning a 2,400 head mega hog operation, which is called a CAFO, a concentrated animal feeding operation. And he wants to have 2,400 hogs there, and we know what hogs do. They eat, and they grow larger, and they defecate. And we are all concerned about the effect on Compton Creek behind me, and families like the Craig Crawfords, my sister-in-law and her husband, who live up there. And today at this picnic, which had about 60 people, my nephew, who brought his 3 young children over, those children would be playing in that area. The kids would be drinking water out of the sink there in the kitchen. And yet we've got 2,400 hogs doing their thing. We're all concerned about the manure, the effect that the manure is going to have on Compton Creek, getting into the surface water, getting into the groundwater, the pollutants in the air, And we are concerned, we, the branches of the Craigs and the neighbors farther down this Jones Road, Bloomingburg, but also the Roger LeBeau family, the first house down that direction. And they have a daughter who is in a very fragile condition, and they are concerned especially about air pollution for her, what it will do to her health.
Would have closed her eyes forever, and she's a fighter. I don't want one chance, one thing that could possibly cost me even one day that God intended me to have her to make a difference. And if you build this and something happens, I'm always going to think that that could have been, whether it was or not, I'm going to think that could have been the problem. And I don't want to think that. And I know that there are other locations. This isn't the last location on the face of the earth. And I don't think that you're going to ever, you may, come up with a situation with a handicapped human being that close to where that barn's going to be built. And why take the chance? Why in God's name even take the chance? What?
Well, you know, in situations like this where a barn is coming into an area where there hasn't been pigs for years, people start building fears in their mind. And fear is a terrible thing, whether it's real or whether it's fantasy. All of us have fears, and the best way to dispel those fears is get the facts, not just over the internet. Try to find out the facts, and most of the time, because there's pigs raised all across the United States, 99% of your fear is just something you've internalized. It's not a fact.
One of the most disturbing things about this whole project is the fact that there's no regulation and no oversight by any level of government whatsoever prior to or during construction, even during operation. There's no monitoring, no testing, no reporting, and none of the operational features of this facility and any of the data that is produced as a result of it are going to be a matter of public record. No one's going to be able to see what goes on the facility and how close we are to any kind of environmental damage, any health issues, and the like. And unfortunately, the law of Ohio is such that it's skewed in favor of operators like this, such that if they keep the number of animals below the threshold for permitting, they avoid all oversight whatsoever. That's not right.
We do not make the rules, we follow the rules.
We have always met or exceeded all ODA requirements, CAFO requirements, even though we have never owned a CAFO.
Why do you not?
Can I finish my sentence, please?
Yeah, but I'd like to know why you don't submit to permitting. I mean, I just don't understand it. If you're convinced that this facility is going to be managed in such a way that it meets all those requirements, what is the big deal about going through permitting?
If the ODA requests me to do that, I will do that. Now, can I please finish my point? Please. For 15 years, we have always met or exceeded every ODA requirement to either care the animals or apply manure on the soil, and done it in a manner that was either meeting or exceeding. We take very much pride in taking care of our animals and protecting the animals, keeping them healthy, keeping them away from predators, keeping them warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And the quality of the product that we raise, we're very proud of, and it's a very high quality product, and it's one that we are conscious of, whether it be in the ventilation of the barn, utilizing the different natural products in the pit that reduces any type of gases, anywhere from the products claim 80 to 90% what it would be normally. And so we do everything we can to be as positive a effect for the animal, the neighbors, and the community.
Okay, you're wondering how the meeting went?
I feel like people they were fairly able to get their opinions out, which was a good thing. But I believe that Mr. Serber seemed to have all the right answers, I put in quote, to make him look good. And that's to be expected, I guess, because he's a businessman and he wants to look good. We heard nothing whatsoever from Mr. Matthews. I asked him specifically, would you please reassure us, do something, say something? He said I wouldn't listen to him, and I showed him with both ears that I was listening, and he would not say anything.
Behind me is the residence of Dal and Jerry Crawford, and you can see how perilously close to this facility their home is and what a beautiful location they have here. Unfortunately, the regulatory scheme is such that the director has authority to exercise discretion and require Mr. Serber to go under the permitting requirements, but he refuses to do so inexplicably, claiming that there's no evidence that such a facility would violate any of the best management practices. And the problem with his finding in that regard is that there's no way to tell, including the director himself, because he doesn't require the facility to be permitted or to submit drawings or to submit plans or to submit any kind of operational information so that the director can have a full slate of information in which to make that kind of decision. So we're very disappointed, and it's unfortunate that the director takes the position on behalf of an unpermitted operator against those constituents and citizens who would be adversely impacted by this facility.